Are you a student or are you a professional? If you're a student, you're thinking about, hey, I'm coming to the end of school, I'm wrapping up my classes, and I am so looking forward to graduation. And you should be very proud of yourself. But a professional thinking individual is going to be already mapping out their career. Before graduation, they've been putting in other homework. They've been setting up their network. They've been creating contacts. They've done internships. They've done projects. They've done some odd jobs. And they may have already set up their job during or after graduation. So that's the difference between a student and a professional. Now, a student is also presenting themselves in other ways. This is their brand. So on your resume, which is like your calling card, after your name, contact details, it may say student. What college you went to, what did you study, and what is your GPA? Now, unless you're going to an accounting firm or some other professional services, that's probably not the way to go. Now, if you're in Europe, Australia, and other parts of the world where the first thing they want to look at is what school did you go to and did you graduate and what was your GPA, here in the United States, it's a bit different. Yes, some jobs may require a degree, and that's up for debate. But at the end of the day, they will hire you based on what you've done. So when you're coming out of school, a lot of companies will take someone who has professional experience. Now, you may think, well, I haven't even started my career yet. Like, what kind of professional experience do I have? Did you ever work in an ice cream parlor? Were you ever a camp counselor? Did you babysit a whole bunch of dogs? Did you do anything that required you to hopefully show up on time? Have other people rely on the service that you provided and the quality of it? Because those are the elements of being a professional. And if you've already learned that, that puts you ahead of the game. Now, brand identity. How do you tell the world, hey, I'm more than a student versus I'm a student? Again, your resume, name, contact details, and then a title. What are the different kinds of jobs that you're aiming to get? And then a paragraph stating at the very beginning, I have over 1 year, I have over 2 years of professional experience, and I have been focusing on what? Because what do we want to know in that first paragraph? We want to know who you've been working with, how long have you been doing that, what exactly have you been doing, and are you any good at it? Because if you are pretty exceptional, that makes you even more of a hot commodity. Now, when you think about your resume, there's also LinkedIn. Why is LinkedIn important? Well, it's only the largest professional platform network in the world, and it's a way to build up your contacts because you're going to need them. Right now, the way the market is, it's really hard if you're just applying for jobs, because you can apply and apply and apply until you're blue in the face. But if you have a network, that will help you much more significantly. So how do you get a network? Well, the first thing you need to do is understand, well, is it one industry or is there multiple industries that I'm aiming to get into? And then who are the players? Like college, when you were looking at what schools to go to, you had your reach schools, you had your sort of middle level schools, and then you had the schools that were kind of like your safeties. Same thing with companies. Maybe those enterprise entities are a little bit out of reach. Maybe they're not. But then you should be reaching out to them anyway, because eventually one day you're going to be hopefully working with one of those if that's your plan. Otherwise, definitely the mid-size and the smaller organizations. Now, who are you reaching out to in those entities? Well, sure, go ahead, reach out to the CEO. Whom you want to reach out to are your mid-range leaders. These are the people who are going to be the hiring managers. These are people who are looking to build out their teams. And that's who you want to connect with. And you don't want to reach out and say like, hey, I'm looking for a job. No, you want to connect with them. You want to establish rapport. You want to establish engagement. And if you really want to be taken seriously as a professional, you want to have at least 500 connections so that it says right on LinkedIn, 500 plus. That's what you need to be working on. So even before you graduate, you need to be working on building out your network to be at least 500 plus. As a student who's getting ready to graduate, I can't emphasize enough how important it is to have a network. Think of it this way. If you're looking for a job, you need a network. So how do you get the network? So with that list of different companies that you're looking to engage with and reaching out to those mid-level to senior leaders who are going to be the hiring managers, you want to go find them on their LinkedIn profile. So what do? You go to the company page, you look up employees, and then you start going through that list of employees. Now, one of the things that LinkedIn does right now is it says, well, if you know the title of the kind of person you're looking for, you could put down senior manager of sales at whatever the company is, and it's supposed to give you a list of individuals who have that title at that company. Doesn't always work, so sometimes you have to manually go through the employees looking through the titles. And these individuals, you're not just gonna send them a connection invite from the list. No, you wanna go to each and every single one's page. Now on the page, you'll see either connect or it may only say follow, but you'll see the word more if you only see follow, because don't click that, click more, and it'll give you a drop down. And in the drop down, it'll say connect. Yay, connect. Then it'll say, do you wanna add a note? Sure do. What do you wanna say in your note? Not that, hey, I'm looking for a job. You want to talk about how interesting their company is and how you've been really following the company and would love to connect with them as you're building out your network, because this is an industry that you are looking to make your future with. Hopefully they connect. Once they connect, then you may want to start to have a conversation of engagement. Like, could you give me any perspectives of how you see the industry going, or are there any things that you think would be important for me to know as I am stepping into this new industry? Again, don't mention a job. You want to sound like you are an insightful, curious individual who's learning, and in this way, they feel like they're establishing a trust relationship with you. Now, eventually, you may see, oh my goodness, this company is actually advertising a role that I'm interested in. Once you've already communicated it a couple of times, then you could reach out to them and say, hey, I saw that at the company, your company is looking for a blah, 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 whatever that title is, and I've applied. I'm wondering if you could provide me any guidance. Now, it's a numbers game. Hopefully 1 out of 20 individuals will respond, hopefully a better number than that. But again, it's a numbers game, but that will put you far further ahead than just applying for a job. If you really want to step things up in terms of engaging your network, some of the things to do are this. Look for the posts that these individuals are putting on LinkedIn and hit like and comment. Another thing to do is creating your own posts. Or if you feel like, wow, I'm a little bit nervous about creating my own posts, look at other people's posts and say, that actually looks like an interesting post. And what you could do is you can repost it with some words of your own. Now, the important thing is to be active, because what LinkedIn will tell you is that if you comment 3 times on someone's post in the course of a week, you will increase your chances of having traffic look at your profile by 3 times. Now, what they don't say is that ideally, when you comment, you want to use at least 12 words. The other thing is that if you post on your own, then it will increase the traffic towards your profile 4 times. So if you post once a week, as well as comment on other people's posts with at least 12 words, overall you will increase the traffic towards people seeing your profile 7 times. That's how you get engagement. That's how you get people to see you on LinkedIn.